Well, good morning, everybody. Josh, what was that?
Yeah, that was an accident. that was not the background that I thought I had selected.
You trying some new stuff out there, thinking
That
it'd
is
be kind of funny.
Yeah, not
Is
trying
that
to
your
do
favorite song, or what is it, Josh?
I've seen. Well, never mind.
Oh,
Good
man.
God.
Delbert, did you hear that new intro music Josh just picked out? He's on it, man.
Yeah, that was 100% not not what I thought it was.
Greg Murray liked it too, so I tell you, Josh, you got a new hip song you got going.
Just glad the video wasn't playing with it too. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man. Okay, so anyway, hey, it's a call-in show, 316-462-3673. Yes, you see, I am sitting in the big Dodge City, America, in my hotel room. Scotty, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you bet.
And we did that as a backup plan in case I slept through my alarm or something, because it was a little bit late when I got here to the hotel last night, but that's okay.
You were texting me after the race. I was like, dang, I kind of finished pretty early. It seemed like, but maybe not. I don't know.
They did a great job. Kyler Fetters out here is doing a great job with the racetrack and doing a great job putting the show on. And he ran it right through. And he actually took 2 times to actually take in 2 intermissions to prep the track, which is really, they only normally do it 1 time, and he did it twice even, and we still got done that fast to keep the track a better track.
Yeah.
For those we always, us racers, fight the racetrack, and they always like to complain, which I don't complain much about the track because I don't know how to prep a track either. But to have a good prep track and be able to do that, it's like when we go up to Boone, they rework that track every 10 races. And so it was kind of nice. We went out on a pretty good track, and then the sprint cars went right before us and stuff too. So those big wide tires kind of smoothed her out pretty good. We had a pretty good racetrack. So it's we'll see what happens tonight from that part. Got some exciting stuff coming up tonight.
Very good. And how's the car count out there?
It's a little soft, and I think the reason it's a little soft is it's awful hot out here. I mean, it is hot. Yeah. Of course, we know it's hot everywhere, but it's I think we'll see some more cars.
Sunny and 70.
Yeah, it's sunny and 70. All right, it's just sunny and 70 times 2 plus the humidity.
Carry the decimal.
The AC on top of the trailer just kept a constant stream of water pouring off of it. It was crazy how much water coming off that trailer from that part. Delbert Alt thinks there's not hotels in Dodge City. I think there's brothels out there. Well, there might be, but I haven't found one. Let's put it that way. I haven't had time for that stuff. Delbert.
Out there slinging guns.
Yeah. I was gonna say, how is Boot Hill out there? I haven't been to Boot Hill in years.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I've not even been in that casino.
Stinky.
I bet Phil belongs down there. I'm sure he can just get on some chaps.
Anyway, this is a different hotel we've stayed in before and everything else too. But I mean, they do have some pretty good hotels over here in Dodge and stuff, and easy to get to and everything else too. But you're all right, depending on the type of which way the wind's blowing stuff. What you're going to smell out here in Dodge City? They said they smell money. I don't know. I can't smell much anyway. But boy, how this get that wind in the right direction. It's really ripe out here, especially in this heat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But makes it for sure worse. But if they were all yours, you wouldn't care one bit about that smell.
I guess if I knew how much money they were making, that might be a different ballgame. That's got to be pretty good money.
I'm from out in that direction.
Are you really? I didn't know that.
I'm from Garden City. I'm from Garden City. I'm 45 minutes to the west.
Ah, I did not know that.
That explains a lot, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Now I know all about you. Got you all dialed in. Hey, anyway, everybody, it's a call-in show, 316-462-3673. We want to hear from you. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, anything in the automobile world, new products, anything you just don't understand or have questions, comments, or you just want to talk about anything, let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673. Get a great price package, about over $130 for each and every caller. And as always, Josh, what's in that package?
So we're going to mail it out to you, but it'll consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here while we're doing that. We'll also complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related stuff on the vehicle while it's here for service. You'll get $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. So very cool.
All right, let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673, and that comes right to the front desk. Tell the gals you want to get punched into the show, and we'll get you online. So anyway, I want to call you a backup plan. We did that in case I had slept through my alarm, or I'd be thrashing on a race car for some crazy reason or whatever.
Yeah.
So
You never know what the end of the night's going to look like when you go out to a racetrack, I don't guess. And that's always, you always got to plan for or hope for the best, plan for the worst, I guess is what they say on that side of it.
Something like that. So anyway, gentlemen, so I know the shop is just crazy behind and crazy booked up and things like that, but anything exciting happened this week, Scotty, with everything?
Yeah, I actually asked Josh, talked to him a little bit about it yesterday, but now we have, and I don't know if you guys have talked about it at all, but we now have a mobile unit for mobile, a technician that actually comes to a vehicle, and we're mainly using it for recalls and part installations and stuff like that. It is not for oil changes. I can't stress that enough. But that's pretty exciting. We're wanting to get that up and running, and that's going to be a lot more convenient for a lot of customers in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we launched that in July, and it's been a pretty huge success for sure, and convenience for the customer. On that side of things, and especially trying to work somebody in for a kind of a in-between repair, something that's not quite eligible to go to the quick lane or that is a little above those guys, but then yet we don't want somebody waiting, a week or 2 weeks to get into the main shop over here to be able to get them taken care of. And so it has been like I said, we launched that in July, and he's every day he's been on the road going.
Oh yeah, he's going.
So
yeah, we had a show a while back asking. Ooh, an echo now all of a sudden.
Are you?
We had the listeners and watchers debate on whether they'd like to have pickup and delivery or mobile service or whatever. And I'm a big fan of let's go pick it up and let's get it in our shop. But I get it, our shop's very busy and stuff like that. And we more or less got this mobile service. We had to do it to comply with all the other rules and laws that Ford is putting down to us. And I think it's turned out to be a little better than I thought it would be. I think there's some consumers that do appreciate the service and stuff too, but I still would love to have those cars in our shop to be able to be ready, available for every part we might need from that part, and be able to get a car up on a lift is so much better than working on the ground and that sort of thing. But I think we're trying to pick repairs that we can do very easy in the field from that part. So I guess let's take some comments again. How many of you'd like to have your car picked up and delivered, or would you rather have it have us come to your place of business, or come to your office, or come to your home, or whatever? I'd love to hear from you. Just get the phones ringing and get some comments going.
And we really have tried to, like you said, kind of pick the repairs that are more conducive to being able to do that, so recalls, or if a vehicle has already been here and we've looked at it and ordered a part for it, and it's just a matter of putting that part on. I like it in that situation or environment the best, because it has been in the shop. It's had the multi-point inspection. We've looked everything over, and then we've even saved the customer the journey back to the dealership to where it's more convenient for them to get it installed. Not only that, it helps our special order part shelves on inventory, and gets the customer taken care of quicker with less involvement from them.
Okay, sure. I think we got a trick question coming up here.
Okay,
Delbert, he wants to know what's the range for mobile service. Delbert, we're not coming to Oklahoma City.
What I've instructed the guys at this point, and just because obviously the logistics of trying to get everything taken care of in a day, and trying to cut down on the windshield time at this point, it's a Wichita address. So it needs to be in Wichita. Now, obviously, we've given, because you can have a Wichita address and be on the east side of town, and Goddard be closer. So obviously, Goddard, Mays, stuff like that is in the loop. But so far, we've really just been working that P&A area, or our zones just kind of closest to the dealership out from that side so far. But yes, Oklahoma City, not quite there yet.
Not quite. No. It's been really helpful. It's been really helpful for me and a lot of my customers, just because, we'll have a customer come in, we'll do a lot of work, but then there's that one part, that one really non-important part, like a trim piece or something like that, that takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes to put on. And that customer's from clear on the east side of town. It's really nice to be able to go, hey, instead of you driving, go to work. Instead of coming to the dealership, I'll send my mobile unit out and we'll have that installed while you're at work, and you don't have to make that visit back. It's a really convenient thing for that, and that's what it's made for. So,
yeah, Jeff Daniel wants to know if we're going to come to Arkansas and get his expedition. Don't think so.
Nah, that'd be a little tough.
We could do it, I guess.
I was going to say,
it's a slight nominal fee. How about that?
There you go.
Yep, very, very much so. So yeah, that's like I said, been definitely a new addition, and getting everything worked out in that. And like I said, it's worked very well so far, and just continue to adding to that service and being able to make it convenient for customers for sure. So
yeah.
Well, and so as he's out running the van and stuff, what's kind of the normal thing that he's kind of doing, kind of let the listeners know what we are doing out there? I think it's a lot of recalls, correct?
For the most part is recalls, and we've talked about it. They have different equipped vans, and we chose not to get the van that was equipped for oil changes. The van that we have can do oil changes, but it's not its primary. They have vans that that's the primary function of the van. But also, in my opinion, that's not a at home or at somebody's house service.
Right.
I mean, you think of, I just, first of all, it just terrifies me, technician under a vehicle on jack stands by themselves out in the field. You have all the elements that are associated with that, crawling under the vehicle, rain, ice, snow, sleet, stuff like that. Then the other side of it is, being in a nice environment with a lift, with all the tools and equipment that you have there, we still make messes. And I don't want that on somebody's driveway. Then you've got to deal with that. You can take all the precautions in the world, and something's going to happen. There's going to be a hiccup. You're going to make a mess, and to deal with that at a customer's house, that's not conducive to good business, I don't think.
No.
And so again, we can do them, but we're not setting appointments to go out and just primarily do oil changes on a vehicle. And so recalls are one of the things that, when there's a recall on a vehicle, it's black and white. You know what you're doing to the vehicle. You know what parts it takes to fix it.
Tools, what you need.
Yeah, what tools you need to be taken care of as well. And also, in my opinion, that's just a visit that you're helping save the customer from having to make to the dealership.
Right.
If a car breaks or check engine light comes on or something like that, that's something that we don't know what's wrong with it.
Right.
And so the recalls are pretty cut and dry. And so we're able to give them an idea what time we're going to be there, how long we're going to be there on site, because roughly what that's going to take, and it's just better for scheduling and everything like that. And so obviously the recall side of this is the largest part of it. And that's what's worked really well so far.
And the other thing is the recall will also even say if it's mobile eligible, because not all recalls are set up like that. So the ones that are kind of that Goldilocks zone of time, how many parts you're going to use, what tools you're going to use, it'll let us know if those are a good candidate for those mobile repairs, and that is a benefit to us and the customer. So it's a timely thing. We don't want to take up too much of your time whenever we're doing it, and it helps us out a lot. So if anybody has questions, you can always call and set that up, and we'd be happy to help.
Well, a few questions coming here on the side about
Mhm.
is our competition doing mobile service? Well, if you want to be a, how do I want to say, a full service Ford dealership and offer everything as you have to have mobile service. So there are a few stores, I think they're around us that are trying to do it also. But as far as the recalls, that's another question over the side. Is it's only Ford recalls. We cannot
Correct.
complete recalls on any other maker model, just Ford from that part. I'm going to throw a question out. Can we do Lincoln recalls?
So there are some Lincoln recalls that we can complete, but the majority of them, no.
Okay. So anyway, some good questions there too. You go back to Josh, I know we didn't pick the van for doing oil changes, and I still think the better situation is let's go pick that car up, that customer that needs the oil
Mhm.
changed. Let's get it on a lift so we can do the proper multi-point inspection and check that car over, make sure we see everything we can see, because it's hard to see everything you can see laying on your back and not rolling around in a creeper, than being up on a lift and everything else too, and be able to rotate the tires correctly and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a better way of doing it, is get those vehicles actually picked up and delivered, which we've been doing that for so long and doing so many of those too. Uh, I think we'll see how this mobile service grows and see where it takes us.
The other side on the pickup and delivery, or even to tie in with this mobile service, is when we're uh, obviously we're going through the previous or the next day's appointments. We're loading up the recall parts that we need or whatever that it is we're going out there for. But we're also grabbing, air filters, brake pads, wipers, things that fit those vehicles, so that that technician is able to, when he gets there and there is something that he needs, that is a wear item or a maintenance item, that he has those available with him. Obviously, it becomes hard to get or think of absolutely everything you're going to need, but we
Right.
want to have a high percentage of that stuff readily available, so that it can be taken care of for him as well. And so we spend a lot of time loading and unloading totes, but that's okay. I'd rather be there and be prepared than be there and not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so if someone wants to schedule mobile service, how's that happen, guys? Tell them, everybody, how they can make that happen.
That is the same way as scheduling just a regular appointment. You can call into the main store here, and any one of the advisors, the BDC, they're all available to do that. And then a lot of times too, I mean, they're going to give you the option, if whatever it is you're calling in for is mobile service, available, or something that can be handled mobile service, we're going to offer that. But then we'll also offer the pickup and delivery on it as well. And so it's just a matter of exactly what type of service that you're after, and certain qualifications of it, basically.
Okay, so I'm going to throw another question out there. How far out are we booking so far? I know we're well
Yeah.
into
So
August already in the main shop, getting
yeah.
things scheduled. So how far out are we on mobile service?
So on mobile service, I was looking next week on the calendar for it, and our next available opening for mobile service would be roughly probably middle of next week, middle to end of next week.
I was getting ready to say it's not terribly far out at all.
Good. So someone needs something that can get in more easy and more available
Yes.
Mhm.
on the mobile side.
Yep.
So anyway, I got another good question over here. We have over the air updates, which I would say works a lot of the time. Sometimes it doesn't, but I think the over the air updates on these new vehicles are simply things of simple minor updates they can put in. But if it's a major update, it's not going to be able to do it through the over the air updates. We'll have to bring the vehicle in for that part. But Tim Danny wants to know, what about over the air diagnostics? Well, I can't tell you how many times we have used Ford Pass to be able to a customer travel. I'm going to give you the best example I can give you is had a customer driving to down to Galveston, halfway down there with his Super Duty, and the AC quit blowing, or it would go in and out, in and out, in and out on him, and very frustrating because it's not hot down there in Texas at all, right?
No,
it's hot
So
here.
it's hot here.
so we got on Ford Pass. We saw the code. I got back there with David on the deal, and we diagnosed a connector that we figured out was probably the problem. David had just fixed one just like it here, like a week before that, and we actually got that customer into a Ford store down there. And guess what? They didn't have the connector, but they made the connector work. And guess what? Got the guy back here. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah.
Of us being able to see the codes and being able to go back to a technician and get the flow chart out, not guessing with that, because that's what some parts houses are doing, and
Yeah.
be able to fix these cars. And it was great for that guy. I mean, we got
Well,
him back, and he was ecstatic.
and this connected modems is what they're calling it, and the vehicle data that it's able to, and they're just adding more and more to it, as they advance in technology and stuff. But I think it is a great thing for the consumer. You do have people every once in a while that think, oh, Big Brother, and don't want them watching and stuff like that. But just in your example there of being able to take care of a customer, or your check-in light comes on and you're out of town, is it, well, what do I do? Is it okay? Can I drive it? Should I have it looked at? Stuff like that. And we're able to help somebody with that much more. But then also in intermittent issues.
That's what I was going to say. I was waiting for you to stop talking.
That's been a huge advantage for our technicians and stuff, is that you have happens all the time.
Yeah.
Customer says, hey, it did this, it hicked up, and it does it intermittently, and then it's like going to the doctor. You feel fine once you get there. You set the appointment, you feel like crap.
Yeah.
You wait your time, and then you get there, and well, now it's not so bad. And so we're able to go back and look at that historical data, and for all intents and purposes, make a much better educated guess on what's going on with that vehicle, for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It really is. It's pretty nice, especially when you get the symptom from a customer like myself. So I'll get a phone call and of something of exactly what happened. And if that vehicle is set up for me to be able to see what codes it has, I already have a direction to go no matter what. I can look into certain things to try to expedite the entire process, which if you have an intermittent issue and it's not doing it all the time, that is such a help on our side, and obviously to the customer. It's incredible how helpful that can be. So yeah, that's an awesome feature.
And then in addition with that, on the connected modems, Ford has taken that kind of one step further, and they're so let's say they're actually scanning through our appointments and looking for relationship to connected modem. So say a customer calls up and has a complaint of a surge or a surge in a check engine light or something. And based on what that customer complaint is, and the symptoms, and then also the connected modem data, they're going through and they're analyzing all their warranty tickets and saying, okay, out of these vehicles and these cars and this concern, this is the most probable cause of what fixes that vehicle. And so they'll ship parts based on that connected modem to us, based on that. And we've been on that program. It's a pilot program. We've been on that program for a little while, a couple months. For our store specifically, it's not as beneficial just because of our parts inventory and where we sit on parts inventory, and the odds of us having that part already are really good. But you think about that in a rural town somewhere, in that's a small town or something like that, that could be huge as far as days down and getting your vehicle back to you.
Yeah. Anyway, I got to throw out a question just threw over here on the side. Mr. Lance, can't wait for dealerships to go away. Killer dealer markups. Lance, you kind of started a fire with me, buddy. I want you to understand something, Lance. There's a call to market demand and what people will pay and what people won't pay. We've not marked anything up over MSRP on our vehicles and everything else too, Lance. But what I want to ask you, Lance, when that car breaks that you just bought, where are you going to get it fixed? Who's going to take care of you after the sale? And if you ask those Tesla owners out there right now, and it's a known fact that 78% of those customers hate the after experience after they purchase a Tesla because they can't get taken care of. They got to be towed all over the place and everything else like that too. So Lance, just ask yourself that, buddy. Where are you going to get your car taken care of? Where are you going to get the parts? Where are you going to get the customer service that you need to take care of your situation? I understand there's dealerships out there that are charging stupid money and overpricing everything too. But don't let the 2% kill you. Take care. Let the other 98% of the dealerships out there that are taking care of customers, doing the right thing, and pricing cars accordingly to the market and what the market will do and everything else from that part. And you want to talk about dealerships marking it up. Why don't you talk about how many price increases these manufacturers have made on these vehicles in the last 2 years. So, Lance, answer those questions. Love to hear from you. Love to debate it with you and everything else from that part too. So,
yeah, I think just the Maverick itself, the markup on that from the from the manufacturer's side and just the availability of the vehicle and stuff like that. It's a struggle out here for a dealership, that's for sure.
let's talk about the Maverick for just a minute. I mean, that's a demand vehicle. Everything I got coming is ordered in. And just for an example, we had Joe, one of our technicians, get involved in a wreck that owns a Maverick, and his Maverick used with, I think it's got 6,000 miles on it, is worth more right now, according to JD Power, than it was new. So,
Yeah.
Lance, that's called market demand. People will pay more because there's a demand for the vehicle. The manufacturer can't produce more, and it makes it worth more money.
Mhm.
Blows me away too. Would I pay over sticker for a used car? Absolutely not. But the demand is out there for people needing vehicles and needing what there is. But the biggest thing is, Lance, where are you going to get taken care of after the sale? And that's what we pride ourselves here at Hambelton Ford, is trying to take care of that customer after the sale and making sure you're taken care of, because you're going to need help. Because I promise you, whatever vehicle you buy, whether it's 100% electric or whatever, it's going to break at some point in time. And where are you going to get it fixed?
Yeah. Yeah, would agree with that too. And then the other side that I would comment on too, and I watch this show all the time. I'm a huge fan of it, but Shark Tank. I know, Phil, you and I have talked about this, from time to time, and just hearing like the markup or the margins that a lot of just consumer products, little things that there are. Man, if you had those in the automotive industry, like,
I know that show pisses me off too. You see, I'm selling it. It cost me $1.98, and I'm selling it for $29.95. Okay, Lance, how about those huge markups? It's okay for everybody else to do it, but not the automobile world.
Yeah,
drives me crazy.
If that was a thing in the automotive world, like I don't know, it blows me away on that side of it. So
yeah, exactly. So anyway, 316-462-3673. Hey, if you want to comment, call in, call anything about this, love to hear from you. I'd love to put on a debate on this situation, this comment. Bring it on. I've been in this business way too long and everything else like that. And I've been through the ups and downs. I've been through everything there is about imaginable in the 40 years of my in this business. And I promise you, dealerships are not going away, Lance. Good luck is all I'm going to tell you. Good luck.
Yeah, would agree with that for sure. So the other thing this week that we did, and I don't think we did a Motorcraft U training session that I wanted to talk about as well. That went really well, and so basically what that was for, all of our wholesale accounts. So we supply parts to a lot of aftermarket or independent shops, body shops, as well as repair facilities and stuff like that. And so as part of that, and because of the volume that we do to that, Ford enabled us to put on or host a training class. So we were able to bring those individuals in to our facility and get them some technical training. And so we happened to do powertrain training for module programming, diagnosis, things like that. And we had a group of about 25 people from other facilities come in here, and I tell you, it was awesome to be able to visit with those guys and see their reaction to our facility. Let's just put it that way. And it was again, in this industry, if you're not training 6 months, a year's time, it's gonna eat you up. It will swallow you up. This is always continuing, always you will never stop training in this industry with the advancements in technology that goes into it and everything else. And so to be able to talk to those guys and just listen to some of their stories, honestly, I don't know. I've never been on the aftermarket side of this industry, but I just don't know how you do it.
I have, and it's not fun. I'm very, very blessed to be been here for 11 years, but you don't get the equipment, you don't get the training, and it's an eye opener for sure. You walk into a place like this.
I ran into a customer of mine and friends of mine over there in Hutch that came to the program, and they were blown away of what we have to offer and what this new world of because they can't get the training. They just can't get it. And back in the, hate to tell you, in the 80s when I started, I went one time to an independent shop and I realized real quickly, I got to get back to a dealership. I need the training. I need the latest and greatest stuff and everything else too. So I'm glad we're out there to be able to offer these classes and help the aftermarket world get better and get some training for those guys.
Absolutely.
And again, just for them to be able to come into this facility and kind of walk around and see what's going on and stuff like that. I mean, I think just in the day to day, we get kind of, I guess, callous to it.
Yeah,
you just get used to it and think that it's just the norm, and it is not. It is not at all, for sure. So,
hey, real quick, Dan Wicks, is there a recall on emergency brake on an F-150?
I
saw that.
And then Mike replied to him here that there is no recall on that on the F-150s for the parking brakes.
Yeah.
Well, what we need to do?
Yeah, I don't know what he's got going on.
I'll give him a call after the show.
Call Dan and get his. We got his VIN number, of course. We can run the Oasis on it and see if there's a recall on his truck. Maybe it's another recall or something else on that side too. So
sure,
we'll have to look there for sure. So anyway, so those guys came in. Josh, I wish I could have had some time to spend in that class with our wholesale accounts coming in and stuff. Did you get the chance to spend some time in the class?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, spent a little time over there with them in regards to the class, and it was the training class. So I was talking with the instructor, and it's about a 3 hour. It was about a 3 hour deal. Could have been a 6 hour deal, just like every one of them. But also on the training side of things, man, just after a while, you just start losing people. I mean, you could have really good information, but to be that intense for that long, it just, you just get kind of phase out, so to speak. But everybody was very involved. It was a lot of useful information. There was a lot of information in regards to, diagnosing like misfires and things like that. And so it was it's hard to get a group of from several different places together just because you have different levels of knowledge in there. And so you got to have information that pertains to everybody, that's not over people's head, but yet not something that they've known for years either, because otherwise you'll lose them that way too. But I think the instructor did a phenomenal job, and like I said, everything went really well, and can't wait to host another one for those guys. And then we were talking about what's the next thing, and just like I always talk about or say is electrical. Man, these guys are craving for any type of electrical training, and it's in everything. I mean, you take Dan's question on the parking brake system. We've got electrical on base brakes now, and so there's not a system in a vehicle anymore that doesn't involve some sort of electrical circuitry or components and things like that. And it's just going to get more and more intense for sure, as these vehicles advance. And so electrical is something that people just crave the knowledge.
And see, then here, Jeff Daniel sends me the deal where who put that out there? But it's talking about 870,000 F-150 trucks with parking brake issues, and USA Today put it out. And so I guess we'll have to figure 21 to 23. I just love the fact how the media gets a hold of this stuff for us dealerships. We know anything about it. Isn't it nice? And who knows how much of that's true? Is it really 870,000 trucks? I mean, that's a whole year's worth of trucks.
Well, and here's the other thing that, they produced that and maybe had an issue for a month or a week or something like that. And it involves, 3,000 vehicles, and the media will just go out and say, hey, there's a recall on 21 F-150s. Well, yeah, there is a recall on 21 F-150s, but it was a week's worth of production, and here's your VIN brake, and it goes from here to here. And I would say that's one thing, years ago, when they came out with recalls, they were way more massive. They included so many more VINs to them. Now, there may have been fewer recalls, but they were way more involved as far as units included into it. And now, just with the manufacturers and everything like that, they track that so tight. I think there's they come out with recalls more often, but there's fewer number of VIN numbers in those recalls lists. So,
and they'll separate them by what region they were in because of what manufacturing plant they were in. And so whenever you get that big, huge, really vague announcement of this year, this model, and this brand, it doesn't necessarily mean yours is an affected one, which is kind of frustrating for us because immediately when that breaks, guess whose phones start going off the hook? It's us. But
okay, sorry, I asked you a bunch of texts and stuff too. So
oh, you're fine. We've got a caller on the line, so we're going to go to the phones. Let's talk to Doug. Doug, you're on live with Under the Hood.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Appreciate your show. I have some questions for you real quickly. I know that in the wintertime, as the temperatures drop and things, that there's unique things on a car that you need to be mindful of in the cold weather. What about the hot weather? What are some things that we need to be watching or looking for to make sure our cars are running okay in the heat of this summer that we're going through?
Doug, that's a great question. And there's a list of things that come to my mind for hot weather. Specifically, right off the bat, I think of tire pressures. I think that's huge. Tire conditions. That tire is running so much hotter just because of the heat on the asphalt and everything like that. And so a lot of times you don't have a tire that blows out. The tire overheats. And so when you raise the ambient temperature, it just makes that tire more susceptible to that. So tire pressures to me is huge in summer, just as much as it is in the winter. The other side of it is batteries. You see a lot more batteries fail in the heat just because of the underhood engine temperatures and everything like that. I mean, the cold obviously takes it out of them too, but when you get to the extreme heat, that's another thing. Mm-hmm. Obviously air conditioning is huge. That's on the top of everybody's list. And making sure that AC system is operating properly and fully charged, stuff like that. And then the cooling system is huge, making sure that the cooling fans operate properly. The other thing that's huge, especially in these driving conditions in Kansas with the wind and dust and stuff like that, is making sure that the radiator's cleaned out and that vehicle's able to breathe and cool like it needs to, for sure. So
yeah, I was just going to say that's actually a really good point. But a lot of the things that, especially us being in the Midwest region, I think most of us have been coached on all of these things that we need to be ready for going into winter. Well, a lot of those exact same things are the exact same things that you go into summer. And that is because that extreme change in temperature, and it flips like a switch. And so pretty much a majority of the things that you would be checking for winter are the exact same things that you'd be checking when it's extremely hot, with addition to being the air conditioning system, because that's probably the hottest or the stuff that I'm getting the most calls about is going to be the air conditioning system as of right now, because it's so ridiculously hot. Those AC systems having to work so much harder for how hot it is outside to cool the cab of a vehicle. But yeah, that's kind of a rule of thumb, which actually all of that stuff realistically gets checked whenever a service is being done by our multi-point inspection. Other than practically the AC, other than like visual leaks and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. So that's a darn good question though, because a lot of people just go to their brains and think, oh, it's getting ready to get cold. What stuff do I need to check? And it's a lot of the same stuff when it gets really hot.
And if you have nitro in your tires, does that help stabilize that air pressure?
Yeah, it certainly does. Yes.
Okay. All right, very good. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate your time and your expertise, and enjoy the program.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Doug.
Yeah, that's one thing we kind of have not talked about in a long time, guys, is nitrogen.
Yeah.
And all the benefits and everything that nitrogen does for us and everything else too, So sometime we'd probably need to get back into that too. But I know we got another caller coming in, don't we?
Yeah. I'm getting him patched through here. But yeah, definitely the benefits of nitrogen is huge from that side of thing, and both the cool weather and the warmer weather. Right. So, but let's go back to the phones. Let's talk to Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, you're on live with Under the Hood.
Hey, good morning, team.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody's looking good today.
Me the most, though, right?
We're pretty Scotty.
No, yeah, there you go.
Scotty and Josh are going for the haircut.
That's right.
Yeah. Phil.
I know. Go ahead.
Okay, go to the intro music. Go to the intro music.
Oh, hey, wrong show.
Yeah.
So,
That's beautiful. I love you,
Yeah.
Dick.
God bless you. So my wife's got the 2003 F-150, and the previous service, you guys had done something. I don't know. Maybe it was an additive. It puffed of smoke on startup, and when we got the truck back, everything cleared up, and we just had it serviced again, and now it's smoking again. And I was wondering if we need to have that service done every time, that BG product or whatever service they did, because it's smoking again on startup.
So my question, how many this has quite a few miles on it, doesn't it?
It does.
I think about 230.
Yeah. To where I would say having like to be able to get it all taken care of in one GDI service is probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
With that many miles on it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm going back in my head, Dick, because I kind of remember everything, because I believe we did do an induction service. We had all the additives and stuff like that, and it lasted probably maybe 3-4 months, something like that. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think it's about every 6 months.
About every 6 months.
I don't think we ever reached the mileage.
Gotcha.
On the sticker.
Well, we know who we'll go to, and we'll have him look at it, and I bet you he'll be able to figure out what's going on. There's a specific technician that I know probably would be more than willing to look at it and see what's going on, because I know we had vacuum leaks and stuff like that, and so we'll just probably have to figure out.
Right.
Yeah. But
yeah, I was just curious, if it's if it was a BG product that they just add to the oil, that'd be great just to do that every time. Whatever they did, it cleared it up, the previous oil change.
Yeah. I'll have to look, and I'll look up everything, Dick, and I'll give you a call afterwards, and I'll look into history and just double check and check mileages and see if I can figure out something that correlates with it.
Okay.
For sure.
That sounds great. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a nuisance than anything,
Sure.
Because I don't think that it's, we're not having to add any oil or anything like that.
Good. Well, good deal.
What engine was in it?
Oh gosh, now you ask me.
The Triton.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that a 5.4?
Yeah, 5.4. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll take a look at it, and I don't know. My biggest thing with the mileage on that thing, it's not going to hurt it having more than one GDI service, and may even take a couple of them, but I wouldn't do them necessarily back to back. Maybe like every other oil change or something for a little bit would be what I would say. Just with the number of mileage that's on it and everything like that, like you're trying to correct a lot of soot and carbon and things like that over the years that's built up in that thing. So
I'm trying to chime in here just a little bit after, because I've been answering texts and everything else over here coming through too. But the question is, how often should he do a GDI? Correct.
So he's it's smoking, and it quit smoking after we did
one of the services.
One of the services, and that was about, what'd you say, about 6 months ago, 4 to 6 months ago, and now it's kind of starting back up again. But also the vehicle has about 230 I'm sorry, what'd you say, 230,000 miles roughly?
Right.
Yeah.
And we just had it just came back from service now, and we had the oil changed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's running great. It's running like better than.
And you're noticing the smoke.
Of course, we had a vacuum leak on it.
Previously, and even with that vacuum leak, I mean, it's running lean at that point, and so you're not getting the ideal fuel burn when you're when you're running rich or lean or whatever it might be. So I don't know how long we had the vacuum leak for or anything like that, but that I don't think it's going to hurt to do a GDI service on that truck. Every other oil change for a little while for sure.
Clean all that out.
Okay.
That sounds good. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, it looks like I need to go get a haircut.
I'll just wait to hear from you. Yeah. I don't know what else to say except thank you.
You stumped him.
Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. I'll give you a
thanks
call
for the
later.
call, buddy.
I'll give you a call later, Dick.
Bye.
You just can't see my hair is so white.
Well,
is that what it is?
It's not the light, it's the backlighting. It's the studio that you're in. That's what's
mercy
on the top of your head.
I wish we had that. I don't even know. It's I don't know. Well, you can get the apps where you can like add hair
the
and
filters and stuff. Yeah,
had a filter. I put a wig on your
that
or something.
That would be hilarious.
It would be, but we don't have it. So
man.
Anyways,
yeah. Anyway, gentlemen, what else? We kind of got here towards the end of the show. Anything else happen in the service department? We can cover with everybody, help everybody understand their cars better, learn more, anything at all before we.
I like the question that the gentleman brought up about the heat. And what to kind of look for on these vehicles. Obviously, temperature is huge. Just operating temperature and anything that can help that car breathe better. Whether it's an air filter or, like I said, checking the condition of the radiator. That's something that I don't think that we get into near as much as we used to. I mean, I know when I was working on cars, way back when and on the farm and stuff like that. And Phil, I'm sure you did it too, but man, checking radiators and blowing out radiators and cleaning radiators is something you just did all the time. Now these vehicles have interactive grille shutters, and which for I guess those of you that are just listening to the show, they have literally fins or I would say blades in the front of the vehicle that actually control airflow through the vehicle. And so it's an electric motor that basically diverts the air one way or the other. If the vehicle needs to be warmed up, it's going to be shut off so no air goes through the radiator. And then if it's going to be hot, it'll open obviously fully up and divert that airflow through the radiator. But anyways, just all the condensers and power steering coolers and transmission coolers and stuff. You get a diesel truck, and by the time you go through all the preliminary radiators, secondary radiators, turbo coolers, like all that, you get in an accident in one of those things and you're $10,000 in just stuff in the front of the truck before you ever even get to the cooling fans.
Right.
It's crazy the amount of stuff they have up there. And so just making sure that all that stuff is free and clean of debris is huge.
Yeah. Well, it's great. I'm going back to my days with my dad working in the shop and his service station and stuff too. I remember how many cars would roll in there thumping because the thermostat had locked up or whatever, and we're out there garden hose trying to cool them off and trying to pull that radiator cap off, and then we'd have coolant shooting out everywhere. Just don't see that anymore. That's for sure. From that part, the developments happen so much better and everything else too. But I can't tell you how many cars I cooled off out in front of that station over the years and everything else. One time we had water out of a car shoot clear over the top of the building, and the stain stayed on the building for quite a while from that part. But so it's crazy how much better these cars have come, and like you said, all the things that are in these cars to keep them cool.
I don't know if you remember that. Just mine went straight back, and this has nothing to do with anything we're talking about other than fluid still dripping from the roof. But anyways, I don't know if you remember. I did a transmission service on a vehicle up in Hutch, and Jared reminded me of this, I don't know, about a month or so ago, but I was emptying the transmission machine in one of those tanks back in the corner, and you'd come walking back there for something, and I had pulled that valve on the top of the machine, and there was still a little bit of residual fluid in it, but it was hooked with shop air, and it blew transmission fluid everywhere. It was all over me. It was all down the wall, up the ceiling. There is probably fluid still dripping off the roof of that shop. If I had to guess. That shit was everywhere, and I just remember you dying laughing. And I probably don't even remember it, but I do.
Hey, now, let's go back to those days too, Josh. And I had, I don't know if you were there yet or not, but there was that 2-bay storage deal just full of junk, and I cleaned it out to get more bays and everything else. And we had those storage tanks of oil.
Mm-hmm.
And Scotty, it was probably a 200-gallon tank that I put in there for oil. You know, it's got a 1/2-inch piece of steel pipe that comes up out of the tank, and you put a meter on there so you know how much oil you're pumping out.
Right.
And you got a little little handheld deal. You push it, and that would start the air to go through to push the oil out of the tank. And we're still setting that bay up, and I'm standing there, and this tech's standing there, and I haven't screwed the valve on it yet. The valve's there, but the oil's in it. And he looks and goes, "What's this?" And before I could even move, he hit that valve. Okay. Now imagine air pressure in the shop's 175 psi at a 1/2-inch hole. And that hit me in the chest.
Yeah.
I mean, before I could even move, I had oil running out of my shoes. Were you there for that, Josh?
I do not remember that. Yeah,
that might be before you came on board over there. But I mean, my God, I just looked at him and thought, I hate to I can't say it on the air. What's this? And he hits that thing, and I mean, boom. Oh man!
Little things that bring me joy, Phil. Stories like that.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
man.
Anyway, Bill Millspaw. My dad first started at First in Maine, and then we're thinking the mid '70s he moved over to Second in Maine is where we were at. And right now there's just there's a quick shop in there, and I can still see the front doors where we pulled up, and the 3 bays now are gone from that part. But that's where it was at, Bill.
What made him move? What made him go from First to Second?
Much, much, much better facility at Second in Maine.
Yeah. So was that a competition when he first started? Was there a shop there? Or
it was a server. It was a 66 station. We were the standard station, and just a much, much, much better facility than what we had at First in Maine. There's still some pictures still running around with that old station over at First in Maine and stuff too. So. A lot of memories over there at First in Maine, but
how long was he there before he moved to the other one?
Well, he started in '69, if I remember correctly, and moved to, I think it was mid 76, 77, somewhere in there when he moved to Second in Maine, and then he finally retired in '96.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, very good. And I don't know, Halstead to have, as far as population and 2 repair shops, that's
well, that's not it. There was 3 gas stations at one time. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 repair shops all together at one time. So
really,
for that town. I mean, at one time that town, we had the hospital going.
The hospital was there, yeah.
Yeah, you had Skyline going. You had Wimbro going. You had Patrick Windows. There was a lot of industries that were rolling in that town. That really kept that town.
Or timber or something. I don't know what that was.
But there was a lot of business there.
Did they have electricity back then, Phil?
Yes.
I sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sure did. You're funny. Funny, Scotty.
That's what I'm here for.
I get it. So, hey, anyway, guys, I think it's time we need to roll.
Too.
I need to go work on a race car. Okay.
Very good.
What I need to go do. I need to go get a race car going and everything else too, guys. So, hey, great show, Scotty. Thanks for hanging in case just by chance that I didn't make it, but I did make it from that part.
I had fun.
Yeah. So, everybody, hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as always, Josh, we do a terrible job at taking care of BG products, all the great things those guys do for us. And if you want your car to run many, many more miles, please let our service advisors and let Scotty sit down with you and go through how to put a schedule together to make sure we're putting the right products in your car. Because I guarantee all 3 of us drive differently and need a different service schedule. And remember, your maintenance schedule in your owner's manual is your minimum you need to do to your car. So make sure we're using the BG products to help take care of you there. Hey, if you're looking for a rental car, Stan's finally got a great fleet of rental cars over the floor. If you need something bigger, don't want to put the miles in your car or whatever, just give Stan a call right inside of Go To Rent. And then Big Corner Carady for all your advertising needs. If you got a company or anything you need to help advertise your company, please call Jesse down at Big Corner Carady. Those guys say just Google us. All right, gentlemen, ready to roll?
Yep.
I'm going to go sweat for a while, okay?
Go have fun, buddy.
All right, guys. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to everybody next Saturday.
Perfect.